Well, that was weird. Don't know precisely what happened there, just that my screens went green and my computer just kind of shut off. But at least we get to be right back where we were.
It's a feed, all right.
Yamo, Harry, prepare the equipment. Beast wandered off somewheres. We got to lure it back. And who might you be?
Funny. About to ask you the same.
They call us the Reavers.
Reavers? Wouldn't happen to hail from Crinfrid, would you?
Aye, we do. But how's it you know? And again, who the hell are you?
Geralt of Rivia. I'm a witcher. Know your brethren in arms. Boholt, Kenneton Desperate, New Boy too.
Ah, you're that Witcher. Aye, Boholt mentioned you. Said you swing a mean sword.
A professional. Good you came along. Could take on the brute together. Talk is the venom's something horrifying. Could use another pair of hands. Fee what we've gotten from the guild, we'll share it fair and square. You in?
Gentlemen, this hurts my ears and pains my heart. You aim to kill your caste? It cannot be. The creature is protected. If you fear to lose the guild's reward, I shall repay it, and reward you doubly to leave the beast be. You cannot slay the last living specimen of a near-extinct subspecies.
Willing to pay, are you? Long as we do nothing? That's rather novel. What say you to that, master? Far as I know, beasts culled the human race by 5 already.
Alright, we get the choice. Let's say not to be killed then.
Basilisk lives for now. We're not gonna kill it.
A witcher defending a beast. Ever seen that, lads? You like them peaches?
Ah, no scrapping with filth today, it seems. But, you made some mention of coin, as I recall.
I did indeed. And the word once given.
Your share, Witcher.
Easiest job I've ever done. Godspeed, Witcher. Strange working with you. Strange, but nice.
Godspeed, boys.
You spared your caste. I thank you. And be assured, I'll take great care she not dine on any other souls.
Gotta try harder. Figure out a way to keep folk out of this area.
That I shall do. Master, you must accept more, be it a symbolic sum. Had you not come along, the Reefers would surely have slain my Yokast.
Thanks. Sure.
Thanks.
Yokast has flown her nest.
Must have sensed a threat. Likely to return eventually, though.
She'll return. Always does. I suspect I might even know where she's gone. I tracked her away and believe she might have found a new mate. It's an ordinary basilisk, not a silvery one. But something might come of it. Who knows? Your caste could lay new eggs. Perhaps produce an entirely new crossbreed.
Sure hope not. Take care.
All right. With that dalliance out of the way, let me take a look at my system diagnostics right quick. It's not showing overheating or anything, which is strange. Alright. Well, since we're this close, may as well take on what remains of the quest question marks for Knight for Hire. Or, well, say the rest is quite ambitious. But this one, though, seeing as how it's close.
Go, go.
Egans.
I'm smacking on an empty stomach. I despise it.
Gather your men. Y'all will need a true assault to survive.
His face.
Finish.
Problem is, circling is exactly what I want. Speedy Eugene's journal. Everyone a literalist. Or a literarian?
Death comes for you this day.
Does it now?
Shut up and fight.
Let us kill. Let us murder.
You can always get a new one.
Come
Witcher,
evening, I'm off
Witcher,
to the hells.
a
quick
word
as
might I
flash.
have?
Those girls can't wait.
Ad Feyen! Just what we needed. A Witcher with stones of granite. That Blede Hansa has terrorized this land too long.
Show me what you're peddling, Nilfgaardian.
Oh, they have a card. Mortisine. Well, at least it's unique.
So long.
Blede Hansas. It's good you drove them off, Witcher.
Come evening, I'm off to the hells. Quick as a flash.
How's it going? It's going pretty well.
Come on.
We did have a green screen crash fairly shortly into this manner.
What now, you piece of filth?
So, other than that, you know, doing pretty well, just getting started on Witcher. Summer has finally dawned in Stardew, so I have planted like literally hundreds of crops. And that'll take its own time, obviously. Alright. Let's get paid, and then we will go and take on the story. Did I eat? Yes, I did eat. I made myself a couple of sandwiches to eat, and I still have plenty of water. Just need to remember to drink it more often, which I just took a swig, so I'm good. But
Greetings, Knight. I've heard reports.
Well, see,
Go in peace, Fair Knight.
For idleness is chief.
alright.
Sunlight
I would hate to come off as
So we will report back to Regis about what we have seen.
That Witcher's rather handsome.
Oh, he's got Arby's for work since it's like a 2-second walk. Nice. This time we just left the door open.
think your friend's hand will make for a nice broth?
You've clearly honed your sense of humor. But we are not cannibals, Geralt. I took a fragment of tissue from the hand. It will suffice to prepare some resonance.
What did you do with the rest?
I cremated it, as our codex commands. Raven told me you'd acquired the necessary ingredient.
Helpful creatures,
Pretty
right?
helpful creatures. Call on them often?
I try not to overdo it, but they can be so useful, as they were now, when I merely needed to be sure I could arrive in time should things go sour.
Managed fine alone, but thanks for the thought. Gonna need much longer to finish brewing resonance? Mentioned a last ingredient, too. What about that?
That, I fear, might prove troublesome. You see, to use the concoction to summon the memories of one, the solution must contain the blood of another specimen of the same species.
Shouldn't be a problem. I happen to know a higher vampire who should be willing to help. Right, Regis?
It's not that simple, I'm afraid. While you were away, I tried my damnedest to identify a replacement, but alas, none such exists.
Not sure I understand what the problem is. Can't we just draw some of your blood?
The blood must be in an agitated state. As I'm certain you know, higher vampires can change their corporeal shell. As our flesh changes, so does our blood's chemical composition. To make a long story short, I shall need to induce in myself a state of strong psychokinetic arousal. In brief, madness, rabidity. That stands to be very, very dangerous.
Alright, see you then.
Dangerous? Why? I mean, you'll still be you, right?
True, but I should be highly agitated, in a state of fury. You know better than I that fury cannot be controlled. If you've ever seen an enraged vampire, you know very well that all who find themselves nearby will be in grave danger.
How will we handle that? I'd rather not have you lunge at me, claws extended.
That makes two of us. But worry not. I've thought it through very thoroughly. Details to follow soon.
All right, so what do you want to do?
We shall visit Tesha Mudna, an ancient vampire estate. There we will find cages suspended in the air. I will enter one, be confined. You will lure beasts there. Beasts you will then kill. The bloodletting should prove profuse. Abundant enough so that the blood scent will drive me mad. Wild.
Tesha Mudna. What's it like?
It is a place of torment. a torture chamber. Long ago, shortly after we'd arrived in this world, one among us named Kagmar developed such a taste and lust for human blood that in one night he could imbibe an entire village. This brought trouble on the entire species. Common folk wearied quickly of living in constant fear. They began to hunt us, seek the aid of mages and witches in tracking us down.
So what? Not like they could ever hope to kill you.
But they were bothersome. Forgive the comparison, but when did you last enjoy mosquitoes buzzing around your head? In any case, the other vampires decided something had to be done. Kagmar had to be caught and punished. A torture chamber was thus outfitted in the dungeons of Teshem Mutna. Inside it, a cage made entirely of a special alloy of silver, dalvinite, and meteorite steel. Kagmar was captured and locked in the cage. Sat there over 2 centuries, driven to fury time after time, never able to escape. Thus I know the cage will withstand the fury to which we shall drive my humble being.
See no reason to dawdle. Teshem Mutna. Take me there.
In a moment. Just one last thing.
What was that?
Blood. Oh, the last favor the Raven did me. I've also taken some Sangurium, a solution that sharpens one's sense of smell. One drop of blood shall smell like a gallon to me now.
You crazy? You're a recovering addict.
Your outrage warms my heart, Geralt. But you must remain calm. I have no choice. As things stand, the die is cast. High time we set off for Teshem Mutna. My head's spinning already, and you're starting to smell quite tasty.
And you're starting to scare me.
We have arrived. The sacrificial chamber of torture and torment lies underground.
You lead. Scurvers must be getting close to their feeding ground.
Correct. I told you there'd be danger. Beyond this wall lies
an ancient vampire dungeon. Seen a lot of things in my time. Nothing quite like this, though.
I feel honored. A man with such a wealth of experience, yet I'm about to show him something new. Now, to open it.
How the hell?
It's an ancient form of protection against unwanted guests. The mechanism which releases the latch reacts only to a hired vampire's blood.
Tricky mechanisms, a vampire hideout. Fortified, secured. Must have been important to your species once, Toussaint.
It shall always be so. During the conjunction, the gate from our world to this one opened upon this land and no other. This was the first we saw.
Human husbandry and care. This for real?
Human husbandry and care. Raising human livestock is to provide the herd with conditions that not only guarantee their survival, but on the other hand do not extend too far beyond the minimum needed for survival. These are creatures bestowed with great intelligence, or rather cunning and instincts that allow them to gain as much as possible from their environment. In terms of husbandry, this means that humans will always try to obtain more than we give them. It is recommended, therefore, to provide each individual with a place to sleep, a meal twice a day, and permanent access to water. These conditions, which might seem overly luxurious to some, ensure the optimal production of high-quality hemoglobin. Also, essential is access to air, without which humans die within minutes. There's no need to be concerned about the ability for human livestock to multiply in the conditions described above. If they ensure a minimal existence and male and females are mixed, they will copulate irrespective of whether they are in captivity or not. It's worth mentioning that there are schools of thought that suggest treating human livestock with greater freedom and care, including providing them with a greater quality fodder and a certain degree of freedom. This allegedly ensures a greater amount of favorable elements in the blood and makes it tastier. However, it is worth mentioning that this method of husbandry is much more difficult and requires emotional bonding techniques, which will be discussed in the following chapters. God. The Codex of Loth Half-Breeds. Alright, don't care. It's like the Codex of Alhance. Champion of Tusha Mutna. I am he who serves the tribe. Exalted above men, I renounce human weakness. Uplifted above men, I become keeper of my flock. Filled with strength, I turn my sword against the enemies of the tribe. I am master and slave. I am executor of the will of the tribe. I accept this sword and this armor so I may serve the tribe.
The author observed humans, their behavior, over the many years he spent breeding them. One suspect it may be, it's a thorough survey of the topic.
This place. There's evil here. Death hangs in the air.
Yes. Great many beings have breathed their last here.
Glyphs are carved into the rock. Coated with blood used to be. They mean something?
They're emblems, symbols of, well, what you would call tribes, dispersed throughout the world after the conjunction. My ancestors placed them here to remind us of where we came from.
Seems your kind assembled a peculiar little library.
Battery cage versus free-range humans. In recent decades, many of us have come to believe that a much more effective way of obtaining good quality human blood than hunting individuals is their systemic controlled husbandry. Apart from the obvious advantages, such as being able to control what the flock eats and the ability to crossbreed specific individuals to obtain offspring with the best hemoglobin, another clear advantage to breeding human flocks is that domesticated humans held in confinement, as opposed to those in their natural habitat, become less aggressive and therefore less troublesome. When it comes to farming humans, there are various schools, of which two seem to have gained the widest acceptance in recent times, namely battery cage and free-range husbandry. This thesis describes in detail the advantages and disadvantages as well as the method of carrying out each type of breeding. As an introduction, it is worth mentioning the basic differences between both types. Battery cage human husbandry, described very accurately in detail in the book Human Husbandry, is the placing of several male and female individuals in a closed, restricted space, with permanent access to air, food, and water. This form of breeding differs from free range in that the flock is not permitted to leave the breeding area and is held captive the entirety of their lives. Free range, on the other hand, involves leaving the flock in its natural habitat or creating a habitat that simulates it closely, i.e. creating villages, more on which could be found in the chapter Human Villages, establishing and growing a herd, then making the herd psychologically or physically dependent on its owner. The most effective method for making a human individual dependent is guaranteeing its safety and permanent access to high-quality feed. It's worth adding that a human that trusts its owner does not feel fear and does not defend itself when having its blood drunk, which limits the production of non-adrenaline and cortisol, or noradrenaline, which does have a negative impact on the taste of the blood. Furthermore, it may happen that a domesticated free-range human may feel a certain pleasure when its owner drinks its blood, most likely associated with sexual tension, which causes an intensification in the blood's flavor.
Indeed, though I personally did not lay a hand on it.
Cells. Who for?
Ah, disgraceful. Excruciatingly so, this particular page from our history. I'd rather not summon the demons of the past if it's all right with you.
And this one? Which tribe's this?
Garisham. My tribe, and Deadlouse. We both remained in this part of the world.
Whose is this glyph?
Amarun. They ventured beyond the sea.
What's this symbol mean?
It's the symbol of the Tadet. Those who went east beyond the Blue Mountains.
Vampire lore.
And this one? Which tribe's this?
Garisham. My tribe, and Deadlouse. We both remained in this part of the world.
Transcript of a conversation with the lower being. Who are you? My name is Alex Bicont. Why is all your skin trembling? I'm scared, sir. You're scared? I don't understand. You know what fear is, sir? No, I have mastered your language, yet some contacts are beyond me. What is fear? It's a feeling that destroys every other feeling. It controls your head and your heart. What do you mean? I thought it was a kind of pain. I've carried out tests in my laboratory on people and discovered that a mother subject to appropriate stimuli is able to forget about her child and think only about how to avoid pain. So fear would be similar to pain? No, pain rules the body, but fear is born in the heart. What do you mean examine? I mean examine, take it out, and subject to a proper examination. But sir, that would kill me. Yes, your mortality is a great inconvenience, but it was not me who created your species, and I am not responsible for its excessive frailty. The conversation was carried out in human language, and such it is written down. The transcription does not do translating. Notes of a Teshum Witnut prisoner. I found a piece of parchment that fell from the pocket of one of the monsters. I also have a lump of coal. I would write this in my own blood, but I have hardly any left. I am cold. Every third day they come and open my veins, after which I cannot move. I cannot go on much longer. From the next cage I hear the howls of terrified people. If I had the strength, I would smash my head against the bars. I hope it won't go on much longer. Aloe from the cage next to me died yesterday. They drank him to death. This must have irritated them because I heard them arguing their strange language. They brought new people this morning. You can see that a supply of fresh blood arrived. They have no idea what they are in for. My only comfort is that I know already, and I won't have to live through the terror that I felt the first time they came for me. I have no idea what they want until they pulled out their shiny instruments. I've never seen such beautiful metal. My blood glistened a purple-silvery color in those instruments.
Charming place. But what are all those cages for? Mentioned one vampire being kept here.
Yes, well, you see, humanitarians is something my ancestors were not. They concluded Kagmar would best be punished if he were tormented with the scent of blood he could not taste. Thus, they also kept humans here. Humans whose blood they slowly let. Kagmar ranted and raged in pain as those humans slowly bled to death.
They treated them like livestock. Live bait.
I'd like to be able to turn back time. Deny it, but alas, I can do neither. Feel shame for my brethren. That is all I can do.
Don't take it so hard. Nothing you could have done about it. Let's get to work.
Well, that was awkward. Fine. I prepared the bait. Please be so kind and place it. Ideally at the tunnel entrances. The scent will spread most effectively then. Place the bait at the tunnel entrances. Monsters will catch its scent more quickly.
When I think how these tunnels got here, send shivers.
It was the natural order of things. The place reeked of death and it attracted necrophages.
Three done. One left. Think this'll work?
I certainly hope so. Mead's stench is so thick, I wager it carries clear to Novigrad.
Ready?
Bait set. What now?
I shall enter the cage. You must chain me inside. The bars are made of an alloy that will prevent me from transforming into mist.
Kinda thought you wouldn't want to.
I shall be in great pain. My sole thought being to stop that pain. I cannot know what I will do. We must hurry. The beasts have caught the scent also my head. I started spinning.
That the blood?
Someone who's never experienced a vampire's bloodlust does not know the true meaning of thirst.
Salute to Regis. He's going through an incredible pain of not getting a single sippy of all the blood that's about to happen.
Maybe we need a safe word. You know, something you'll say when you can't take it anymore.
And what would you do once I uttered it?
Don't know. Calm me down. Somehow.
Please, girl. You won't be able to. We must forge through this, that is all.
Smell the blood. I'll let you out.
I'm gonna take the blood.
Need to hang on a little longer. Blood'll dry in a few hours. Scent won't bother you. Get you out of here.
The concoction.
Still going. Had a technical difficulty or two in the middle, but you know, uptime's only 30 minutes because I had a green screen error, but
You can't
8-ish
finish it in this
hours.
state. Tell me how. I'll help you. Any better?
Far from ideal. And some time must pass before I fully recover. But yes, a bit better, thank you.
Never expected it to be like that. You didn't tell me.
We need not discuss it.
But we do. Because if I'd known you were going to subject yourself to torture...
What would you have done?
Found Dettlaff some other way.
I did not wish you to use any other way. Did that occur to you?
No. Because I thought no being would ever willingly subject itself to that kind of pain. You vampires aren't any different from us in that regard.
I told you. The pain is my way of paying my debt. The enormous debt I owe Dettlaff. If I had to do it again, I would in a heartbeat.
Alright, finished your
Resonance. It's ready.
Are you certain you followed the formula? The proportions were exact, the brewing time precise. This is important, Geralt. The slightest deviation could cost even a Witcher dearly.
Relax. Got some experience brewing potions.
Very well. In that case, let's begin.
Excuse me. I shall only take a moment.
You jumped the queue, sir.
But Count, sir, you must understand. I've a meeting. The Count...
Sir, you were next. Please, take a seat. This gentleman was here first. Step down or you shall regret it.
Ah, fails to realize he was your friend, Count.
Making friends at a bootblack stand.
It was then I ordered him to give up his seat and step off the stand. If only you'd seen his face. We got him good, didn't we, Detlef?
A note was passed in a language I can't read.
And then Mother insisted we buy the mill. Curious, eh? But at least I've a yarn to spin for friends and associates.
Forgive me.
What?
He had to kill his friend. And he removed the hand that betrayed him. Well, hardly betrayal, eh?
Awake at last. You ride like a squirrel caught in a snare. I'd begun to fear they were death throes, that you'd departed.
Sure wasn't pleasant, but it worked.
What did you see?
Delacroix. His death did not come easy. Seems Detlef had made friends with him. Still killed him, chopped up his corpse. And he was overcome with fury, remorse. Cut off the hand that had committed the murder.
Interesting. And entirely unlike the Detlef I know. See anything else?
Saw a moment. Delacroix did something selfless. Was kind to Detlef. Guess it could have been the start of their friendship.
Why the uncertainty?
Nothing extraordinary about it. Normal, everyday situation, really. Visions were supposed to issue from strong emotions.
Clearly, the situation provoked such emotions in Detlef. Keep in mind, he did later murder Delacroix.
Killing someone who's grown dear to us, it's bound to elicit strong emotion. Vampires are no different in that regard. Did you see anything else?
There was something. Showed up twice in the vision. A bootblack stand. Detlef first met Delacroix there. Went back after the murder, actually.
Peculiar.
Stand was somewhere in the Port District. And the bootblack acted as if he knew Detlef.
That would be even odder. Perhaps we should have a chat with the lad. Though I would expect no breakthroughs.
It's our only lead. I'll go talk to him. Coming with.
I shall join you later if it's no trouble. I don't yet feel strong enough to venture out.
That's fair. Rest up. Be back as soon as I learn anything.
Alright, level up. Now, the matter at hand is to find that bootblack. But we should also go back for a couple of reasons to Corvo Bianco. See how our guest is doing. And then perhaps take our potion of clearance. Marlene.
I do not know how I will ever repay you, Witcher.
Don't expect to be paid. Hope you're feeling better, that's all.
Oh, yes, I feel my strength returning thanks chiefly to Barnabas Basil's care.
Horrible ordeal you endured. Glad I cut it short.
Yes, years of suffering. Do you know what was worse than the hunger? Watching my loved ones, my children grow old and die. All my family's long gone now. The last of my kin perished decades past. I fear I've nowhere to go.
You can stay here.
This is a big house, big estate. You can stay here.
Truly? I could never infringe so on your hospitality. Yet,
Yeah?
after all I've suffered, the years of starvation, I've but one dream. At last to prepare food that fortifies, nourishes, to delight in the tastes and smells of spices, to sit at one table with others and eat.
Don't see a problem if that's your dream. You could help Barnabas Basil in the kitchen. Eating his meals. You know he's not a culinary virtuoso.
Nothing could make me happier. Thank you.
No, thank you. House could use a woman's touch.
I've one other thing I'd like to tell you. Many years ago, my father assembled valuables for my dowry. I never wed, so they remained unclaimed. These baubles are no use to me now, but to you, well, perhaps let them be a token of my gratitude. If you wish to find them, you must go to my old home, to Trastamara. The dowry lies hidden in a barrel in the cellar. There are several barrels. You must give each a knock until you find the right one.
Do just that. Thanks. See you later.
Take care, Witcher. And remember, you always have warm food awaiting your return.
Sick.
How might I be of service, sir?
Thanks.
Alright, before we leave... Well, first, let's try this Teshum armor on. Could have sworn there was also a mask. Killing enemies restores vitality. The amount of vitality restores equals 1% of the maximum vitality for each element worn. I think the mask is the sole thing that's like truly creepy here. It's very cool armor all the same. I'll definitely be keeping that. And Teshum Mutna Steel Sword. Alright, potions of clearance.
to work.
All right. Science can deal critical hits. Sword attacks deal more damage to human opponents immune to counterattacks and monsters. In all other case, a counterattack immediately triggers a finisher. Each time you're injured, the attacking opponent receives damage in the amount dealt for each point of your toxicity. Only one mutation can be active at any given time. Strength and mutation improves automatically when you develop other mutations. Strength and synapses mutations automatically improves, unlocks extra abilities. I have an extra ability slot at my disposal. Color of the ability must match the active mutation. Advanced require multiple types, but allow you to use any abilities from the combat science or alchemy groups. Okay. When drawn, magic, unique and Witcher swords increase sign damage dealt by 50% of their own damage dealt. So we'll research this. Toxicity increases damage dealt by swords and sign intensity by that. can also just create more mutagens right now with alchemy, so might as well do that.
Something?
Alright. We are now deeply mutated. And Ard is also stronger for us. In that it can also freeze things.
Might want to look around some. This one's full too. Strange.
Gold Stick of Joy.
That's awful pretty. It'll look great in the house.
Alright, let's leave this cursed hellhole. It's the wrong direction entirely. Get me out of here. Wait. Let's figure out what that question mark is, then we'll leave. That way we don't have to come back. Smiggle, Cirxus, or spoon made of pure gold. I've lost my dearest, someone has stolen my darling, my treasure, my spoon. To make me a spoon out of pure gold, which I take to Carabetta. To find that monster, propose I trade a spoon of gold for my most precious spoon. Huh. Alright, time to be off. By the port.
Caught you, you little fart!
Whatever's the problem?
So how would you explain it? Whether it pours for a week or the sun bakes our pipes, we've always mud up to our ankles here.
You can't blame me for Beauclair's fickle weather.
Fickle weather? I've seen you. You empty your chamber pot in front of our shop each morn, so folks with dirt in their boots go to you to get them cleaned.
A far-fetched conspiracy theory, sirs.
I'll conspire to welt your bum with my belt. Come here.
Leave him alone.
Just who the spit are you?
A witcher, and I'd advise you to go back where you came from.
I thought witches defend men from monsters, not cheats from justice.
Need to talk to the boy.
You can chat to him all you like, after we tan his hide. So stand down.
Not gonna happen.
Won't it? Well, then we'll thrash you as well, which is all the same to me. Teach you to help scofflaws and cheats.
Circle him!
All together, on three!
Flat! Flat!
Gotcha.
What's the meaning of this? The brawl? Who started it?
I'm investigating the beast, on the Duchess's orders.
Ah, yes. We've heard of you. And these men, what are they doing?
Nothing really. Had a little misunderstanding. Figured it out, though.
Uh-huh, I see. As the Duchess's protege, you may go. But this lot, that's another matter. You'll come with us. Some time in a cell ought to scare the dimwits out of you. Come on.
You're very good with your fists, sir. Wouldn't be looking for work, would you? We'd make a fine duo.
And what do you mean by a duo?
Yeah? How you imagine that working?
Splendidly. That's how. I suggest a partnership, where I see to the boots while you stand guard. And as you're the stronger, come morn you take the chamber pot out and help me make mud.
Bit about the mud's true? They were right to want to box your ears.
I've got to make a living somehow, so what say you, sir? Partners?
Let me think about it. Listen, I'm interested in a certain gentleman.
Oh, wait! Before we get to talking, please, take a seat.
But my boots are clean.
In this city, no boots are clean unless they just come off my stand. A seat, sir, please.
Very well.
So then, who was it you wanted to ask about?
One of your patrons. Tall, elegant black frock. Not from around here.
An arrival?
How much?
Let's say... 5...
What? Gotta be kidding me. What would you even do with that kind of coin?
Expand my venture. I'm sure you can imagine. Have a proper stand with a big sign. I want a new box too. New polishes, new brushes. And if I've enough coin left, I'll buy a share in a launderer's. Get wastewater for free.
Got it all planned out.
I should think so. Capital is all I require.
No way. Not about to contribute to your shady venture. You'll tell me what you know, for free.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. As you wish, sir. I know the fellow you seek, though I don't know his name. A steady patron. Gets his boots cleaned every few days. He's very good to me. Always pays me a premium.
Know where I might find him?
No, but you could wait here. Perhaps he'll stop by.
Don't have the time for that. Sure you don't know where to find him? Or maybe notice which direction he came from?
When I clean boots, sir, I do not look up to see where folk come from. I clean.
It seems you're having a rough go of it.
Oh, you're here. Feeling better?
I am, thank you. The local necropolis. The air does wonders for me. Now, if I might intercede, I dare say I've the right question to ask. Young man, you see this vial? One drop added to your boot polish will help you wipe even the most encrusted boot clean as the dome of St. Lebioda's Cathedral. With it, you will serve 3 times as many patrons at a fraction of the effort, and piles more coin. I'm prepared to give you this vial if you tell me where the man we seek lives.
But you won't hurt him, will you? The gentleman's art, true, but he's kind.
In point of fact, he's a friend. Yet we had a falling out of sorts and would like to straighten matters out.
I leave his boots at the door of a house near the port. The door is red, but I do not know if the gentleman lives there.
Worth checking. Might happen on a lead.
Would you let me scrape the dirt off your kickers before you go? With all due respect, sirs, your boots could stand a cleaning.
Thank you. Perhaps later.
Handled that kid pretty well.
Finding the right approach. That's the trick to dealing with children.
Yeah, saw that. Meaning, the right thing to bribe them with. door. One the bootblack mentioned. Won't budge. Gotta break it down.
You might just as well stand out in the street, pound on a drum and holler, "Dettlaff, I'm coming for you." A bit more finesse, I implore you.
Let's hear your idea.
Give me a moment.
Nice. Ever consider becoming a burglar? Skill like that'd come in awful handy.
I considered it briefly, but ultimately concluded it would be terribly dull. Come.
He here? Sense him?
No, he's not here, but he was here recently. His scent is still strong.
Let's look around. Old toy. No use to anyone. Shame. Must have brought someone joy sometime.
I find these puppets rather disturbing.
Eviction notice. Due to the non-payment of rent for the premises used for shopkeeping purposes, the Administrative Court of Beauclair orders the tenant Ulrich Descent to vacate the premises within 7 days. Not complying with this eviction notice shall cause a custodial sentence to be imposed on the debtor. The length of the sentence shall be determined by the debtor's court.
Somebody fixed this recently. Attic. Let's go. So this is his nest. Need to look around. Woman's likeness. Bit smudged. Is his lover?
I don't rightly know.
Reminds me of someone.
Who?
Not sure. Can't help feeling I've seen that face before, though. Tools were used recently. Dettlaff unwind by fixing toys between murders.
Really now, Geralt, must you?
Nice tune.
Indeed. I'm not certain why, but it reminds me of home. Our true home from before the conjunction of spheres.
Letters naming the beast's targets.
Look, slips of paper, name on each. Count Crespi, Count Dulac, Milton de Peyrac-Peyrin, Count Delacroix.
Dettlaff's victims, one and all. But that's not his hand.
All of it written using the same ink. See the color? Ink was dyed with cinnabarite. Rare mineral, pretty much found only in
Nazaire, but I fear it means very little. Anyone could have imported such ink.
Fair enough. Still worth remembering.
This slip is stained.
With wine. Not much to go on either, especially not in Beauclair.
Perhaps. Yet perhaps also worth remembering.
Still got nothing, basically. Need to look around some more.
Let's get to work.
Suspicious letter.
Dettlaff van der Eretain, you do not know us, but we know you to be a vampire. We know also of your weakness for the wench they call Renawed. Now you know this. We shall chain her down and let rats feed on her. We shall flay the skin from her flesh. Yet you can save her. You need but travel to Beauclair, where you shall slay 5 men in the manner we prescribe. You must complete the killing in 3 days. Fail, and the next letter you receive will contain a memento of your failure. Your beloved's finger.
There you have it. Proof positive Dettlaff killed not of his own accord.
A blackmailer sunk his claws into him.
Any idea what it could be? Dettlaff have any enemies?
Indeed. Dettlaff gains foes occasionally, but they never live long.
One might have managed to evade him.
Possible in theory, but I know of none. It would have to be someone devilishly dangerous. As you well know, having faced Dettlaff yourself.
Whoever it is someone new.
Who's Renawed?
His one-time lover. The sole human woman with whom he was very close. Because she accepted him. With her aid and care, he found a place for himself in this hostile world. She began the work that I strive to continue.
Ever meet her?
Never had the pleasure, alas. She deserted him a time before he came round to save me, though he always claimed she'd gone missing.
Why do you think that? Any signs or clues to that effect?
None to be found. Apparently she disappeared one day. Her belongings disappeared with her. Not a scenario one associates with kidnapping.
In my humble opinion, she left on her own. Scared off perhaps by a bout of Dettlaff's rage that revealed his other, more monstrous side.
Dettlaff have trouble letting go, accepting that she'd left him?
Is that so hard to believe? Do you know no humans who've struggled with just such a thing?
And Dettlaff is so much more emotional than most humans.
Not only was she his beloved, his lover, his mate, she was a member of his pack. And one never leaves one's pack voluntarily.
Dettlaff ever try to find her? I mean, if she was that important. Higher vampires have their ways, all kinds. Should have been easy as pie for him.
Geralt, as you rightly noted, we are vampires, not miracle workers. He searched for months on end before giving up. Clearly Renawed knew him all too well. Enough to cover her tracks, leave no way for him to find her.
Even if Renawed did abandon him that time, looks like someone's actually kidnapped her this time.
Hard to argue with that. And hard to foresee what he's prepared to do to free her, get her back.
He's prepared to kill, that's clear.
As would you be for Yennefer. He kills, for he cares for her deeply. And that blood, those individuals, they mean nothing to him.
Yeah, I get it now. He's out to rescue a female from his pack.
Exactly.
Blackmailer. Kinda curious who it could be.
Why is that?
Regis. Somebody kidnapped a vampire's lover. Bold to begin with. Now they're forcing the vampire to kill. A vampire you yourself insisted no murderer. Blackmailer's skilled. Someone special.
Astute. Now that I think of it, I'm beginning to wonder if...
It's not one of your kind? Another vampire?
Precisely. The plot thickens.
Just a hypothesis. Wouldn't set my heart on it till we know more.
Right you are.
Black
Why is...
Breach. It's
precise.
Just a hypothesis.
Right you are.
Let's sum up what we know. Seems Dettlaff's being blackmailed. Someone's been feeding him his victims' names.
All noted down using one and the same Nazeri ink. And not in his handwriting.
Not much.
But enough to ascertain Dettlaff's innocence, clearly.
Actually, it is. Dettlaff's being manipulated. Some lunatics turned him into a tool, making him kill.
So it would seem. But this illuminates a path of action for us. We must find Renawed, render the blackmail senseless. The lunatic or ticks will thus lose hold on Dettlaff.
That's one idea. Could be worth a shot. But what about Dettlaff? He gonna go on killing while I'm out searching for his lover?
He will not. I shall convince him to stay his hand. Assure him you're a friend seeking to help. I'll await him here. He's sure to return sooner or later.
Think he'll listen?
He will.
Ought to wait with you, maybe.
No. He'll sense you from a mile off. Simply fail to appear. I'd better stay alone. You must trust me on this.
Fine. Need to report to the Duchess first.
So be it. We'll await you here. Dettlaff and I both.
The plot is so goddamn thick already. We've got slips of paper written in Naziri ink. Ooh, very nice. Stained with wine. And something. And we'll see what something precisely.
Oh, here he comes.
Please answer yet and wine is sacred. Yep, stained with a bit of wine. Written in ink. We've snatched at least a bit onto the tail of the beast. And certainly his motives. But now we have to report and show how little we have to find on the mission we've been summoned for.
Stock send the whip await those running riot. Values peace.
The palace is secure.
And what of the funeral preparations?
As your grace wished, the deceased will be buried with the highest honors. And our dearly departed Milton de Peyrac-Peyran shall posthumously receive the Order of Adamata.
Geralt of Rivia, Master Witcher.
I was not mistaken. You arrived and trouble followed soon after.
Step aside. Got a matter for the Duchess.
At last, Witcher. We've been on tenterhooks. Did you catch Milton's killer?
Found the beast of Beauclair. Just couldn't kill it.
We sent you after him.
Situation's not quite that simple. Beast's a powerful vampire.
Is this a problem? Is it too much for a witcher? A monster slayer? But everyone knows how to end a vampire. Draw him by trick into sunlight. Or arm yourself with ample garlic and drive a stake through its heart.
Garlic's useless against vampires. Sun and stakes don't hurt him either. Those methods, pure invention. Only work in legends and fables.
And Buckthorn? When I was a child, Grandmama Adamarta always claimed Buckthorn drives off vampires.
Silver sword's your best option for keeping them at bay. But it won't get the job done, because only a higher vampire can truly kill another of its kind.
Excuses. Ha! Your Grace, I shall assemble a battue. Bring the matter to its end at once. The Witcher need but tell us where to find this monster.
Go ahead. Send them to their death. Certain death.
To a lone Witcher, perhaps. To 40 of my men-at-arms, but another skirmish.
40, 50, 100? Doesn't matter. Won't make any difference against him.
You have not seen my guards' men in action.
Can they fight fog? Hit a target that moves faster than the wind?
How? What creature can do such things?
Creatures like this one. Higher vampires, we call them. Each one's a little different. Unique or exceptional, you might say. Some transform into giant bats. Others communicate with animals, command them.
Yet all are still brainless beasts.
Dead wrong. Thinking of lesser vampires. Alps, Ekamaras, Catacans, for instance. They're ruled by instinct, sure. Attack anything that smells of blood. Higher vampires? They think. They employ reason.
Monsters driven by reason. A curious contention. What, then, do you intend to do?
It's way beyond being some monster. This is a powerful being that's walked the world for centuries.
Tja, impossible. If so great is their power, why have they not killed or enslaved us all?
Don't usually meddle in our matters. Mostly stay out of our way because they don't care about humans one way or the other.
And they do not fear we shall wipe them out one day.
They'd probably be pretty amused if you asked them that. They're well aware of their strength.
Then what can we do? Do you have a plan?
Try to talk to him. That's our...
I cannot believe this. Her Grace summons a Witcher to kill a monster. Instead, he wishes to chat with it. Ha.
Know what I'm doing. His lover was kidnapped. He's being blackmailed.
Blackmailed? Be so kind as to explain how a vampire might be blackmailed.
Higher vampires? They're like us, motivated by emotions, not instinct. Not only are they intelligent to an extreme, they're emotionally rich, capable of feeling many things, even love. This one fell in love with a woman, a human, and he'll do anything to keep her from harm.
You do not, I trust, suggest we let Milton's killer go free. Or wait until it murders again. We must render it harmless as quickly as possible.
Which is why that's my aim now, to prevent further attacks. Vampires only half the problem. Blackmailers at fault chiefly. Kidnap the woman to control the vampire.
And what do you propose to do?
I'll find the blackmailer, free the vampire's lover.
You were to destroy him, not help him.
No one else should die. That's most important. As soon as the woman's safe, he'll have no more reason to kill.
I admit to being swayed, Witcher. You may be right. Do you know anything about the blackmailer?
Got one lead. A few scraps of paper. Blackmailer wrote the names of the vampire's victims on them. One of them stained. A drop of wine, looks like. So damn little to go on.
You've no idea how wrong you are, my dear. Send for the ducal sommelier. Hop, hop! In Tucson, wine is sacred. Here there is no such thing as a drop of wine, or stains therefrom. They are stains from a drop of Estest, Ervelus, Fiorano.
Your Grace wished to see me?
Witcher, show him the paper scrap. Benoit, can you determine which wine made this stain?
Wine forensics.
Yes. The west bank of the Sava too. That's rather obvious. Aged in barrels of Beauclair oak. Hue, deep burgundy. Clarity, high. It's simple. Saint-Réal, the 1269 vintage.
That's impossible. The wine is produced at Castel Ravello, especially and exclusively for the ducal table. Perhaps some Saint-Réal was stolen. We must go to the vineyard, see if there's not been an incident.
Can you tell me more about the specific wine?
Saint-Réal. Never heard of it.
It's highly unlikely you've ever had a chance to partake of it. As I said, it is only ever served to the ducal family.
Didn't stop it from ending up on that scrap of paper. Unless your Grace's sommelier is mistaken.
In matters of wine, Benoit is never mistaken. If he says it's Saint-Réal, it is Saint-Réal. We must ride to Castel Ravello at once. Discover what has happened.
Wait. Your Grace wants to go with me? Out of the question.
I hope you do not suppose we will sit on our ducal hiney and do nothing while our duchy is in grave danger.
Your Grace, what you propose is far too dangerous. The Witcher should go alone.
It pleases me to see you gentlemen finally agree on something. But I've made my decision. We shall go, accompanied by the best possible escorts. You, Captain, and Geralt. We will travel incognito. We've no wish to give the court any reason to gossip. For the duration of this mission, I release you from your obligation to adhere to court protocol. In short, from now on, I am Anna Henrietta, not your Grace.
Yes, Your Grace. Witcher, are you ready?
Let's go.
Yeah, ready to go.
Excellent. Give me a moment. I must don something more appropriate and concealing. Then we will be off.
And me with the fucking wooden pig's head strapped to my side.
This vampire, have you ever faced its sort before?
I have.
How did it end? Did you kill it?
Didn't have to fight him. Hadn't killed anyone.
Have you ever heard of anyone defeating such a vampire?
Know of a man who defeated one, sure, but he didn't manage to kill it. Ultimately, only another vampire can kill a vampire.
Panthers have attacked the wagon! We must help!
Stay back, Your Grace. We shall see to this. Help! Save us! Back, you beast! Begone! Save us!
Done. Time to move on.
If not for you, we...
Thank you.
They were
Thank you
fortunately
so very
happened
much.
by.
To reconcile, that's one thing, but to start making wine together, it boggles the mind.
Tell me more about this vineyard, Castel Ravello.
It's the best in Ortusa. An old master of the winemaking trade runs it. Fabricio.
He trustworthy?
He's held his post for years. There's never been a problem. Till now. I wish to know your thoughts, Geralt. The Sonreal stain, how did it wind up on the paper? Is someone from the vineyard blackmailing the vampire?
Could be a servant, could be the steward, could be the wine was just stolen from the estate.
We shall know when we arrive. It's not far now.
Slower.
Start no brawls.
Captain de la Tour, we did not expect any visitors from the palace. How are affairs at court?
Doubtless you've heard of the Beast of Beauclair. Well, we've our hands full. Especially since the rogue last attacked in the palace gardens.
I trust Her Illustrious Highness was not harmed?
Kind of you to ask, Master Fabricio. I am well.
Your Grace? We were not warned. I shall order the salon prepared at once.
That won't be necessary. As you can see, we are not here on an official visit.
Naturally. Might I ask then what has brought you to Castel Ravello?
Want to talk to you?
Came to see you. Got some questions.
In this land, it is seen as polite to introduce oneself before asking any questions.
This is Geralt of Rivia, a witcher. He has come to Toussaint on my personal invitation.
Which is to say...
Which is to say, I expect you to treat him with the utmost respect.
Of course, Your Grace.
Did you hear that, Witcher? Fabricio will be delighted to answer your every question.
Want to talk about Sonreal?
I am at your service.
The Sonreal. How many vineyard workers have access to it?
One might say only I do.
Not like you make the wine all alone. At least a dozen others work here.
I see you've little notion how wine is made. Grapes travel a long road before they become Sonreal. The workers assist me only to the stage of fermentation. I see to the maceration personally, and let no one near the fat. Workers, again, assist me during barreling, but then I seal the aging barrels myself, each and every one. The wine lies in the cellar, gains character. Once this process is complete, it becomes Sonreal. And as it happens, only I have the key to the cellar in question.
How's it transported?
Who hauls the barrels to the palace?
We've our own garrison. Guards who have served here for years and would answer with their heads for the wine.
We'll not get anywhere asking questions, I see. It's a waste of time.
Your Grace? How am I to understand this?
Master Fabricio, we have proof someone's gained access to Sonreal. Someone who should not have, which means one of two things. Either you lie to our face, or you are an idiot who has had wine stolen from under his nose and not even realized it. In either case, you shall answer for it.
But...
Silence! And listen. I shall inspect the barrels in person, thus giving you time to reflect. When I return, I expect to hear answers. Remind me, where is the Sonreal stored?
In the main cellar, around the corner. I'll show you.
I shall find it. Give me the key to the cellar and wait here.
Oh, of course, Your Grace. Here it is.
Come, Witcher.
We shall wait here, Master Fabricio.
What if Fabricio's blackmailing the vampire? Considered that?
He has his flaws, but I would never suspect him of such a thing. He's been very loyal. He owes all he has to me. His father frittered away the family fortune. He left his son an encyclopedic knowledge of wine. That is all. Fabricio lived as a beggar until I appointed him steward of Castel Ravello. Only then did he come into his own.
So where do we start?
Let us see if all the barrels are present. Here's the inventory ledger.
Vintner's log. Fermentation completed with no complications. Tapped above sediment line. Here it is. Barreling. Everything lines up at first glance. Neatly and thoroughly documented.
Then we must follow our other lead. Benoit said the stain came from the 1269 vintage. Let's find it.
Everloose, wrong kind.
Everloose. I like it. Quite dry.
An excellent wine. You've good taste.
Tap and mallet. Est.
Est. Think everyone and their mother's heard of this wine.
Among the best in the world. Castel Ravello is famous for it.
Fiorano, not yet.
Fiorano. Dandelion's favorite. Adores it.
Ah, yes. That sophisticated palate of his.
Got Pomino over here.
Sonreal, right wine, wrong vintage.
Sonreal. 1270 vintage.
That's the wrong year. Keep looking.
Wrong year again.
Sonreal. Barrels are dated 1268.
Close, but not quite the right year.
This is it.
Right here. 1269. What now?
Let's see if any barrels are empty.
Wanna open them?
For now, a knock will suffice. If you hear a hollow thud, we will have found what we seek.
Full. Full.
Full.
Full. This one's full too. Full. Looks like all the barrels are full. Dead end, I'm afraid.
Full they are. The question is, are they full of Sonrial? Grab a tap and a hammer. We shall open them one by one and taste.
Ready. We can start. Ready.
Step aside.
So?
Those hints of spice. Distinctive. This is Sonrial. Revolting, bitter plonk.
Could have gone sour while aging.
Impossible. This is not wine. This is contaminated refuse that should never have made it into a barrel. The fact that it did was no accident, I'm sure.
Master Fabricio. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Master Fabricio, I am very disappointed.
But, Your Grace, I...
You are a step away from losing your head. Speak the truth and you might yet keep it.
I admit it. I sold a barrel of Sonrial. I beg you to forgive me.
Why did you do it?
I couldn't resist. The sum they offered, it was enormous. I gave in.
Is what I provide not enough?
I wished to buy back my family's estate. For here, nothing is truly mine. I've a roof over my head, ample food to eat, but what is a nobleman without land of his own? I shall tell you everything, if you agree to show me mercy.
Who'd you sell the wine to?
Who'd you sell the wine to?
A few weeks past at the Pheasantry, a rich nobleman approached me. He called himself a diplomat, well connected at court. He suggested we embark on an enterprise. Some of his clients had offered dizzying sums for even a drop of Sonrial. He was to serve as intermediary.
This man's name?
He never revealed it. He was tall, black-haired, and spoke with a foreign lilt. He claimed to hail from Sintra.
I've no Sintrian aristocrat at court.
Really thought nobody'd find out.
I was a fool. Very foolish.
Wine itself. How'd you hand it over?
We met under the cover of darkness in the ruins of Fort Astre. A dozen or so men came to collect. Armed men. The kind that stink of trouble. I had hauled the barrel there. They transferred it to their cart, and we went our separate ways.
That's it? That the last you ever saw of them?
That is to say, a few days passed. A messenger arrived. He said they wished to buy another barrel and, well, I've prepared it. Have it ready to deliver.
That's enough. Know all we need to know.
Your Grace, I beg your forgiveness.
Get out of my sight. Captain, have your men take Master Fabrizio to the dungeon. He must answer for his crime. High treason the charge. What now, Witcher?
We set a trap. Need to catch the wine thieves. Sentry and Noble could be our blackmailer. Next, transport. I'll take it to Fort Astra. Damien and his soldiers will cover me.
For once, I agree with you. We will do as you say. Let me know when you are ready.
Let's begin.
See no reason to wait. Let's get going.
We will set out now. Position ourselves before you arrive. You take the cart and meet us there.
Fine. When the handoff begins, watch for my signal. Relax. Now we wait.
Ah, our favorite vintner. It's not him.
Now, well, hold!
Well, together, Captain. How do you like that?
My name is not Damien de la Cour.
Is it just me, or did we agree you'd wait for my signal?
That was the plan, but...
Great shot. Good thing you reacted. Can't say how that would have ended otherwise.
At your service. It was a good fight. We managed to capture one of the scoundrels.
Let's ask him a few questions. Come on.
Witcher, a moment. I was wrong about you.
Well, had no reason to trust me, and I didn't do much to change that.
True. You are not the most endearing of men. At any rate, I see the effort you put forth. And I appreciate it. Let us go to her grace. She awaits nearby.
Might have known.
Not at all surprised. Expected she'd want to oversee this personally.
The Master's eye fattens the calf. You're beginning to understand that, I see. This prisoner of yours, bring him to me. We must ask him some questions. Captain, do the honors.
Who sent you?
His name is Dog. They say he plowed your mother.
Once again, who sent you?
Your nun's lover. They call it...
Wait. If he doesn't wish to speak, he needn't. I can think of several other ways he can be helpful. I'm certain the Witcher will need bait to lure the beast of Beauclair.
What?
Live bait.
Sure can. Fresh out.
In that case, he's all yours.
Captain, have your men find me a strong rope. Kind that won't snap when we hang this fellow from a tree.
Rope?
Live bait. Great for monsters, provided they catch the scent of its blood. But I'll see to that.
What? No. Crikey, no! Don't let him!
Stop screaming. Save your strength. Got a long night ahead of you.
No! Don't let him! I'll talk!
Who hired you?
He'll kill me!
I'm about
Ought
to kill
be
you.
Worried about me right now. Who is he?
Go on, man. Spit it out. The Cintrian. That is what they call him. I've never seen him, but I know he mustered the men for this cape. That's what they said, that we were working for the Cintrian. I don't know anything else. I swear it.
Take him away. Throw him in the dungeon. He shall await trial there. Captain, we ride to town. Gather your men and seek out the Cintrian. Someone else must have seen him, must know of him.
Yes, Your Grace. I'll report to the palace as soon as I learn anything.
I shan't return to the palace. Our mission has not yet ended. The Witcher and I will await you at the guard post near the port.
Let's go.
Let's go to town.
Let's go to town.
He's late.
Relax, he'll come.
There's something I'd like to know. How can you be so damned calm?
Side effect of my mutations. We Witchers rarely get the jitters.
What if something has happened to him?
Captain seems like a man who can take care of himself.
Perhaps he can, but this Cintrian appears to be no common bandit. He managed to steal ducal wine from under my guardsman's noses. We only learned of it through a fortunate coincidence. And it was he who specified the victims for the vampire. One must be exceptionally confident to blackmail such a monster.
Sooner or later, everyone slips up. Cintrian stole the Sun Real. That was his mistake.
Yet if we had not happened on the wine stain...
You're right. We got lucky. Even so, still can't be sure he's behind the kidnapping, the blackmail. Need to find the Cintrian, whether or not he's responsible for the murders. Even if none of it's his doing, he could still know our blackmailer's identity. Besides, it's one thing to know who ordered the killings. Other thing entirely, and just as important, is why they...
Hi, Cosmic.
Someone's coming.
It's going pretty well. I had a green screen at the start of this recording, so that's why I call it Technical Difficulties Edition.
Captain, why so long? We expected you hours ago.
This Cintrian does not work alone. We are fighting an organization, not one man. Bandits attacked us, not a small force either. One of my boys has a broken arm, another a shattered knee, lamed for life. And the word on the street is there's a hefty bounty on your head, Geralt.
Don't care. Down to business. You learn anything?
I will start at the beginning. The port warehouse where the wine was delivered. We identified it, then learned who had hired it out. This proved to be a beggar, a stand-in. We found him. He admitted all. A man had paid him to sign the lease, a man he met while begging outside the pheasantry. There, fate lent us a hand. A waitress recalled spilling wine on a nobleman who spoke with a Cintrian accent.
What did he look like?
Her description was not helpful. Handsome, well-dressed, with a beard. No distinguishing marks. This could be anyone. but she remembered his female companion very well, as she recognized her. On the Cintrian's arm was Cecilia Bellant.
The singer. I've heard of her. She's said to be gifted. Fairy.
The same. We went to her home immediately. Cecilia was not there, but we questioned her servants. A chambermaid claimed Cecilia is to meet a Cintrian gentleman tonight. She'd invited him to a reception mounted by the Mandragora.
The Mandragora? What's that?
A club. An affiliation of local artists. Painters, sculptors, troubadours and dancers.
Never heard of it.
They exude mystique. Consciously, I think. Behaving like an exclusive cabal. Artistic elites. Every now and again they mount soirees. Only wealthy patrons are invited. All arrive in elaborate masks, then drink and flirt.
Gotta nab the Cintrian. Seems we have to go to that get-together.
You read my mind, Witcher. I shall gather my men, surround the establishment. Not a mouse will squeeze through.
Out of the question. If the Cintrian truly does have men about the city, he will find out and escape once again.
Duchess is right. Need to be careful. Best go there, blend in with the crowd.
Precisely what we shall do.
We, Your Grace.
Again with this we.
Geralt and I. In that sort of company, the Witcher could use my help.
Where's the event gonna be held?
The Mandragora always assembles at the same place. A residence in Oatville. It's a very distinguished district. Geralt, you must don appropriate attire. Then meet me in Oatville, in Mountebank Alley.
Yeah, that shrug is just about how I feel.
I should double patrols, just in case.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So, as far as the Witcher playthrough, as far as quests go, we have done most. I'll clean things up a touch in a minute here, but in terms of completion, we have gone through all quests and all question marks for Velen, Novigrad, and Skellige. Ignore this one. A couple of quest markers and treasure markers are bugged, which is ever so lovely. And now we are aiming to sweep through Toussaint. With that said, we will need to find appropriate clothing. Because I am all for Geralt looking fancy. And above and beyond that, this armor, I think because I had donned the Tushan Mutna armor. It's very clanky. Good. Light attack trees overpowered.
Locals. Damien's right. I'm a hunted man.
Contract on a Witcher. Well, that's a very handsome likeness of me. And each of these men are carrying enough drink to fucking souse an army. Might be what they need to work up the courage.
Right and fair.
As far as the story is concerned, I have completed it. It's long enough ago that I have since managed to forget it, which is the most perfect idea. However, there are those who are watching who have not yet had the opportunity, so to them we avoid spoilers if possible. What's so happy here?
Welcome back to our northern dandy.
All jests aside, let me see what you got in your wardrobe.
I'm more than willing, sir.
Elegant Beauclair doublet. Elegant Beauclair boots. Elegant Beauclair trousers. And a wolf mask. You'd think I would save these.
Ever your servant, sir.
We'll dispense with the...
Quite the fragrant whiff. What is the pheasantry stewing up?
Dispense the swords, the crossbow. Make sure we have potions, though. They could help us stay alive if ever we need.
Our little laddie has...
Reginald Aubrey has returned, not to be missed. Buy your ticket.
Make a quick save here.
Late. Why does that not surprise me?
Paper lanterns. Nice. Oh look, we got the same kind of gold filigree going on.
Well, well. I did not expect you to have such a sense of style. My, Geralt. Not bad at all. And you've even a mask. Just not the kind required.
Huh?
They're a little different, the ones Mandragora members wear. I've brought you one. Put it on.
So why do they wear masks like this?
Any idea why they wear masks?
Likely because they imagine it oh so very romantic and mysterious. The truth is far simpler. This way, no one can tell which drunken aristocrats are pinching the performers.
Alright, let's go inside then.
Soiree's started.
Mm-hmm. Wise of you to hide your weapons. They'd not have let us in otherwise, that's certain.
I think. Therefore I am.
How do we find the Cintrian? Have you a plan?
Key is not to spook him. Need to ask after his partner, Cecilia, first. Less likely to raise suspicions. As soon as we find her, we find him. Especially since he might be expecting us.
What do you mean?
Ran into some of his thugs in town. Knew who I was. Had it in for me.
Right. Right you are. We must proceed with caution. Come, it's our turn.
Madame, Monsieur, an extraordinary pleasure to welcome you to the Mandragora's soiree. Tonight, I particularly recommend you direct your attention to the performances prepared by artists of our community.
Tell us about these performances.
This evening, the Mandragora has the honor to present 3 superb displays of artistry. The first was a concert by Cecilia Belont, a singer whose voice, were it stone, would surely be a diamond. Sadly, Mademoiselle Cecilia has sung.
Shame. We would have loved to hear her.
Luckily, you are in time to see the great Calesti, a master of visual illusions, come to us from far off Afir.
Visual illusions. Interesting. And the third artist?
The third and fourth, for they are a duo, are the Tuven brothers, presenting their newest pantomime.
We were really hoping to meet Cecilia Belont.
You are admirers, I surmise. I'm certain you will have ample opportunity to converse with her.
It cannot be easy to identify anyone in this crowd. Perhaps you could help us find her.
I don't know where she is now, but I can give you a clue.
Let's hear it.
Seek the Kaviri orchid.
Meaning?
Cecilia wears one in her hair. You shall recognize her easily by the orchid.
Well, well. Dandelion's always complaining about artists being poor as temple mice.
The residence belongs to none of them. They are guests here. Oriana, she owns this. Woman in the black dress. There, on the balcony.
Got her. Doesn't wear a mask?
It would be pointless. All would know her anyway.
Koviri Orchid. Let's look for it. If we find Cecilia, we'll find the Cintrian.
Search the alcoves for a woman with a Kaviri orchid in her hair. Optional. Take part in the soiree's entertainments. Let's save so we don't have to talk to that man again.
Go on, Geralt, be bold. Show us the artist in you. Paid for.
Good folk, yet another soul longing to express its creative side.
Well, you are not at all.
It's a manifestation of the man's soul.
Yellow. Why ever yellow?
It's obvious. It represents transgression in its purest form.
Should you tire of these hues, drop them in the pail and grab a different one. That green, lush and verdant as a field of vines. To vines and to wine! Rose, scarlet, crimson, oxflower. Lips, full sensory part. Composition takes shape.
Yes, it's sure to be a masterpiece.
Quite the look.
Splendid. The sky over Toussaint.
Voila! Fine. Now, allow me a moment to ponder. My appraisal? The painting depicts spiritual dualism. The continual battle between good and evil, and defiance.
Oh yes, that's him all right. Good versus evil. The dualistic nature of man.
And defiance.
I was thinking of something. Points to anyone if they ever figure out what the hell I was aiming for.
Absinthe. The preferred hooch of artists.
Careful, it packs a pretty powerful punch.
I've built up a pretty powerful resistance.
This is definitely done. Let's go. Your boards, as you've made no effort to understand. It's a metaphor of the constant struggle for power and ill.
Look at the mage. I believe he's casting spells.
Yeah, we'll see.
Elechesheba, Saraba, Durandum, Kalabathista, Sabeshkehi, Beshkehi, Ha.
Ah, how beautiful.
Conjuring
The
tricks.
dolphins. That is no ordinary illusion. The man is a true artist.
Impressive.
The lanterns. They say releasing them
Let's
brings
give it a
good
try.
luck. Never suspected you believed in such things.
Doesn't hurt to try.
Exceptional true. Would I ever lived in it?
pretentious. I was prepared for all sorts of criticism, but pretentious.
The Besotted Witcher. Fragment of a script of a stage play. Night is thick as mud and envelops a dense wood. Scenography must include a representation of the full moon. Wolves howl plaintively in the distance. A witcher walks through the woods and in careful measured strides wields a silver blade in his hand. Gods damn it all, the moon's at its fullest, as long as I have waited this night. I have spent in this foul pit all to catch a lone werewolf. At least the miller's daughter helped me while away the time. In fact, I leave only with a certain sense of regret. Perhaps I should take her with me. We hear the snap of breaking behind the witcher, turns around swiftly and spies a werewolf. Got you, no, beast. Furious roar. The werewolf removes its mask. The witcher can see it's the miller's daughter. How can you see that? It's a fucking... Well, you do. Kill me? Or perhaps take me with you. Romantics.
Do not disturb. Shoo, shoo.
It's the right flower.
Of course it is. A Koviri orchid lends just the right contrast to her complexion.
Need to talk to your model. It'll only take a minute.
To me?
Lie still. You may speak, but for love's sake, do not move.
We came here to meet you, specifically.
To meet me? But why?
Centrian noble you came here with. Wanted to ask you about him.
Centrian noble. Ah! You must think I'm Cecilia.
Orchid confused me.
I told you not to move!
As she concluded her performance, Cecilia tossed the flower into the crowd. I caught it, but I did see the nobleman.
Really like to talk to him. What did he look like?
Like many here. Tall, dark, masked.
Know where he might be now?
He gave Cecilia a small gift. A heart-shaped box. Then they strolled off together towards the refreshment tables.
Excuse me, madame, monsieur. I cannot work like this. You must leave now.
Alright, refreshment tables. My guys, you fucking strong-armed me backwards. You've impressive might to do that to a witcher.
Hit of Fistech. Artist's way of numbing their existential pain.
I do not even wish. We should walk past the tables. Perhaps they're still there.
Empty heart-shaped box. Cecilia must have left it behind.
It looks like it held a flask of perfume. A gift from the Cintrian, I imagine.
Scent still hangs in the air. Let's follow it.
Birthday, Ethan? Because the right cuff seems somewhat higher to me.
Sorry, only artists in the Mandragora allowed.
Come. We must consider what to do.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere.
You must be mistaking me for someone else.
I served 15 years in the palace. Your Grace, I'd not mistake you for anyone.
Shh. Not so loud. We are here incognito, on state business.
Yes, Your Grace. How may I serve?
Don't tell anyone you've seen us, first off.
Hope we can count on your discretion.
Of course. I shall be silent as the grave.
for Cecilia Bellant. Seen her?
She's in her dressing room, where she went with a nobleman. They clearly were drawn to each other.
What did the man look like?
Tall, broad-shouldered, a black beard peeping out from under his mask, and he spoke with a foreign accent, a drawl of sorts.
That must be him. We must get to the dressing room, quickly.
Yes, Your Grace. I'll take you.
No, stay here. Anyone tries to flee, you stop them.
Understood.
Quickly, upstairs. That must be Cecilia.
No pulse. We're too late.
He slit her throat. The brute.
Didn't go out the door. Guard would have noticed. Might still be somewhere here.
You must find him before he harms another. I shall alert Oriana. At once. She should bring her soirée to a close.
Shouldn't split up.
Geralt, I will be fine. Go after that rogue. I shall fetch help.
Tore down a door and made a platform. It's his. Must be pretty strong, too. Killed her, then went out on the balcony. Broke the flower pot when moving the door, then stepped in the soil. Must have climbed this ladder. Could still be here. Need to stay alert. Smashed mirror. Someone crashed into it, hard, then sank to the floor. Blood on the window frame. Someone climb out? Fall out? Looks valuable, but it's not what he came for. Empty inkwell. Knocked over, turned toward the room. Hunting knife. Richly ornamented. Used during the fight, probably. Sconce is bent, smeared with blood. Someone try to grab it? Bloodstains. Jewelry box. Lock's busted. Picked open, probably. Links of a snapped chain. Jewel must have been on it. Links of a snapped chain. Jewel must have been on it. Links of a snapped chain.
I get that. I'm looking to grab the jewel.
Precious stone. Bloody fingerprint on it. Thief came for this. Must have. Tiny chain links next to it. From a snapped necklace? Seems there was a struggle. Jewel was in the box, it seems. Centurion tried to steal it, but someone got in his way. They fought, struggled, that's clear. Ended with one of them flying out the window. Fall had to have killed them. Jewel's still here, though, so our Centurion must have been the flyer.
So what's below this window?
So, this is the tracker. A witcher, yes?
Indeed, this is him. We found the body together. Then he set off in pursuit of the killer.
And ended up here, but I've only found evidence of a fight. Seems the Centrians killed his last. Finally failed this time. Shame it happened too late for Cecilia.
Poor girl. Always told her she chose her males badly. But I would never have suspected she could arrive with a murderer. I'll alert the staff. Have them see to her body at once. Meanwhile, we should sit. I will tell you everything, in full detail. I caught him red-handed, attempting to burgle, rifling through my possessions.
What did you do? Summon the guards?
There was no time. I feared he'd escape, refused to give him the chance. He stood with his back to me, so I attacked. He struck his head on a picture frame as we struggled. He was bleeding, dazed, and then he drew a knife. Everything happened very quickly then. I knocked the weapon out of his hand and pushed him hard. He
fell out of the window.
Just so.
None too wise picking a fight with an armed robber.
Why? Because I'm a woman, in a frock rather than plate. I can take care of myself, I assure you. A hairpin might look like mere ornament, but plunged into an eye, it can be as effective as a blade.
Claim the man was trying to rob you when you walked into the room?
Yes. He stood over my dressing table, pouring through my jewelry.
Mm-hmm. After this is my guess. Picked it up while searching.
Why, that's the heart of Toussaint. Oriana, how did you ever come to have it?
I bought it, many years ago, from a young woman.
Jewel seems important. Why?
The heart is an heirloom. It belonged to my family for years. Then it disappeared. I didn't think we would ever recover it.
Seems someone is very determined to find it. The thief left his tool bag behind. Found this drawing inside it. Look.
The heart of Toussaint. Representation's pretty faithful. Centrian must have been on a job. Got very clear instructions what to look for.
So it is not him we seek, but his employer. Is this the only evidence we found?
Also happened on the weapon he attacked Oriana with. Hunting knife. Used to skin game. Got an emblem on its hilt.
This crest is used by the Lords of Duntine. The present master of the castle is a passionate hunter. Our next lead, perhaps.
Duntine. Remember the place. Abandoned ruin just a few years ago.
More recently, the family's last heir, Roderick, returned to his ancestral seat and restored the castle.
Know any more about this Roderick?
His grandfather was an advisor to Queen Ademarta. The family received those lands as a grant for his service. Roderick is quite the recluse. He avoids society, preferring the company of a small team of knights, though the latter term is imprecise, as they seem more akin to vandals with crests on their shields.
Oriana, everything we discussed here, hope you'll keep it to yourself. Counting on it, in fact. Word gets out he, failed in his attempt to steal the jewel. His employer could run. We need to proceed cautiously.
Discretion is in the interest of us all. I'll not ask what this is about, just as I expect not to be troubled about it again. By anyone.
Forgive me, Madam Oriana, but might I have a word?
You must excuse me a moment.
Oriana, any thoughts?
Few make me feel awkward, but in her presence, I sense anxiety, discomfort.
The drawing. It's on the same type of paper the victims' names were written on. Drawn with the same ink, too. Seems the work of our blackmailers.
Who were not only behind the beast's murders, but also stole the Son Real and sought to steal the heart of Toussaint.
Look, the wine, the the jewel, both tied to you intrinsically. Coincidence? Not something I'm willing to believe. Worried about one thing. That somewhere at the end of this scheme, plan might call for an attempt on your life.
It could be something else altogether. My sister, Siana, might be among the schemers. She left court when we were children. My parents banished her from the duchy. I've not seen her since.
What did your sister do to get banished?
Siana was cursed.
Parents run afoul of some mage?
No. She was born at an inopportune moment. They said she was touched by the curse of the Black Sun. Geralt, is it true? Can an individual be evil because they were born during the wrong lunar phase?
Could be the case. Could also be because they were treated like lepers from birth. Isolated, prodded, ostracized. Couldn't have had it easy, Siana.
She was angry at the whole world. She felt inferior, felt pain, though she masked this with confidence, arrogance even. She could also be cruel at times. I recall one such situation. She persuaded Cedric the Coolbird that she could see the future in her dreams. We were children, and Cedric's brother was smitten with me. It was an innocent childhood crush. Siana knew of it. She told Cedric of a dream she had had, that he would die at the hands of his own brother. Cedric stole his father's sword and killed his brother. She destroyed 2 lives with a prank. Cedric mourns to this day. In the end, they forced her to leave the palace. A decade passed. More. I've missed her terribly since.
Think your sister might be involved? Why?
You see, I recall her always being rather possessive, throwing jealous fits if I had something she didn't.
Here, that's normal for sisters. Rivalry.
True. I suppose I gave as good as I got. There are times I miss that very much. The wine, its theft, was the first clue. That's very much like her. She always did enjoy stealing my toys, but I grew almost certain when I saw the heart of Toussaint. Siana received it from father as a gift, at a time when my parents thought of her as but an ill-behaved little girl. Someone wanted some of my wine. The same someone ordered our family jewels stolen, or recovered. It's my sister. It must be.
A fallen princess satisfying whims, going after lost luxuries? Could be right.
Your mission has gained new import. You must go to Dun Tine, and if Siana is there, you must find her. No matter what she did, she is not to be harmed in any way, shape, or form. You must make sure of that.
I'll see to it.
I'll find her if she's there.
I hope you do. I very much wish to talk to her. Sister to sister.
Your Grace, Geralt, I'd like to introduce...
Regis! What a surprise! I had no idea you were in Beauclair. And this is...
My very dear friend, Dettlaff van der Eretain, an arrival from Nazaire.
We are lending our combined resources to the Witcher's Hunt.
Ah, yes. Splendid. But why are you here at Oriana's?
They came to pay me a surprise visit, so I invited Regis in for a glass of wine. We've known each other for... ages.
Ages, you say?
Witcher, I hear you know Regis too. Even that you are friends.
All true.
Few I can rely on like I can on Regis. Kinda hoping he thinks the same of me.
Curious. It seems opposites really do attract.
Don't be fooled, dear. Geralt has many merits. He merely hides them from the world very diligently.
You said you're both aiding him with his contract. It involves the Beast of Beauclair, I suspect. Master Witcher, maybe you could satisfy my curiosity. What's it like going toe-to-toe with a monster, knowing you've only two options, to kill or be killed?
Despite what you might have heard, I don't lunge at every monster I see sword in hand. Talking gets the job done for some.
I wonder what a monster might have to say to you.
It might want to apologize.
My word. For what might a monster wish to apologize to a witcher?
For killing. Though at times there is no choice, when loved ones are at risk and require protection.
Just like humans.
Same as humans. Put them in that situation, they'll kill too.
You understand this. It must be why you and Regis are friends. If I understand you correctly, you would rather help a monster than kill it.
If possible, yeah. Or at least try.
Enough about the Witcher trade for now. Regis mentioned you come from Nazaire. I spent time there as a child.
Fond memories?
It was wonderful. I was positively entranced by the land's fashions. Deep-cut dresses I found most fascinating.
I believe we're running short on wine. I should go to the cellar, bring another bottle.
Let me go. Wanna help, Regis? Know your wine a lot better than I know mine.
We shall return forthwith. An exceptional conversation, don't you think? Vampires, a witcher, and the Duchess of Toussaint? My.
Highly exceptional, Regis. Wanted to talk to you in private. You crazy bringing Detloff here?
Geralt, allow me to explain.
No, let me explain. He's dangerous, and you were gonna watch him.
But that is precisely what I'm doing. Detlaff believes you'll succeed in your task, and he'll not need to kill anymore. That is, not until he gets his hands on the men who kidnapped his Renna.
Oriana, she really your friend? Can she be trusted?
I met her years ago, before I met you, and before she settled in Beauclair. We'd not seen one another in... I can't begin to tell you in how long. But I shall tell you all about her some other day.
Guessing it's no accident you two stopped by.
It would be quite some coincidence indeed. No, a dutiful little bird told us.
Mm-hmm. Now listen close. Managed to learn where the blackmailers are. They're based at Duntine Castle.
That's splendid news. If they are there, Renna must be there as well.
Duchess expects we'll find her long-lost sister there too. Thing is, she might be involved. Could be behind the blackmailing.
Do you mean to say your task now is to extract 2 women from the castle?
Mean to say we can't breathe a word of this to Detloff, who wants revenge above all else.
Geralt, you must trust me. I've got away with...
No, Regis. Can't risk it. Gotta keep Detloff here while I go to Duntine.
Alone?
Alone. That way I can make sure neither woman will come to any harm.
I hope you know what you're doing. Fine. I shall see to Detloff. Good luck, my friend.
Splendidly, Detlaff. Ah, I'm grateful you brought back those memories. You're back. It took you long enough.
Contrary to what common folk believe, choosing a wine is not nearly as easy as it might seem. Especially a wine to be served to 2 exquisite ladies.
Regis, gallant as ever. I regret all the more that I shan't finish this second bottle with you. Duty calls.
Your Grace, always a pleasure.
I thank you for your help. It's been invaluable. Geralt, will you see me out? You have exceptional friends. This Detlaff, an intriguing man to say the least.
What did he tell you about himself?
Don't know him too well. He say much about himself?
Not much. But I've a good sense of the true nature of those I meet. I'd not survive a week at court otherwise.
So what's his?
Sensitive. Sad. He carries within him the weight of a terrible tragedy. He is a good man, but lost.
Hey,
which
Mal.
is why he comes across as grim.
It's been good.
Didn't expect the evening to end like this.
Neither did I. But I have not drawn you out for a romantic stroll. I wish to make certain you know what you are to do.
Mm-hmm. Gotta go to Duntine.
I've decided my guardsmen will support you. You will meet them at Count Delacroix' mill. It stands along the Saône Retour River, near the Cockatrice Inn. Captain de la Tour and his men will await you there at midnight. You shall storm the castle together.
A long hold on that mural of wine. So, we've learned of Siana, the sister of the Duchess, excommunicated from court, you know, quite a bit past.
Don't dare!
I'm gonna save here. Since then, I drank my potion of clearance, and in exchange for some of the points that I've got, have delved into the mutation system. So mostly I'm trying to get up through here, the Second Life and Adrenaline Rush, though truthfully Adrenaline Rush is the one I wish. So we'll need 4 more ability points, which will be the last requirement, because sword and sign intensity, especially in big fights, will work quite well. Since then, I've organized my things. And is it here that I am going to leave off? Touch early, but have to make sure that not only do I have things in order as far as homework and things like that, but I'm going to be going back to work starting tomorrow. So I best get another early night, because I'm up to 80-90%, but I could still use a bit more rest. To Mao, to Cosmic, to all others, thank you very much for watching. This is part 1. Next part is going to happen, as I said, this upcoming, I think, Monday or Tuesday will be when I'm next off. And that will mean we are plotting to go straight through the end of Witcher. So I hope you all will be there for that. Or at least catch the VOD. In any case, thank you all for watching.